The Singapore Botanic Gardens is a 164-year-old tropical garden on the outskirts of Singapore's Orchard Road commercial district. It is one of 3 gardens to be designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the only tropical garden in that list. Since 2013, the Botanic Gardens has been awarded Asia's top park attraction by TripAdvisor Traveler's Choice Awards. In 1859, the Agri-Horticultural Society established the Botanic Gardens at their current location. When Henry Nicholas Ridley, its first scientific director, oversaw research into the plant's cultivation, it had a significant impact on the region's development in the rubber trade at the beginning of the 20th century. The nation's position as a major exporter of cut orchids is complemented by the National Orchid Garden, which is housed within the main gardens. It is at the forefront of orchid studies and a pioneer in the production of hybrids. Its 1,200 species and 2,000 hybrid orchids make up the world's greatest collection due to the equatorial climate. Early in the country's independence, the knowledge of Singapore Botanic Gardens assisted in transforming the island into a tropical garden city, a nickname and image for which the country is well known. Vanda Miss Joaquim, a hybrid climbing orchid, was selected as the nation's official flower in 1981. In accordance with its orchid diplomacy, Singapore honors foreign heads of state, dignitaries, and celebrities by naming its best hybrids after them. These are then displayed at its well-known VIP orchid gardens. Except for the National Orchid Garden, which is free to enter, the gardens are open every day from 5 a.m. to 12 a.m. Its 200 acres of vertically stretched vegetation cover more than 10,000 different species. The garden has a length of 2.5 kilometers from the northern end to the southern end. Every year, the Botanic Gardens welcome roughly 4.5 million visitors. The garden is bounded to the south by Holland Road and Napier Road, to the east by Cluny Park Road and Tyersall Avenue, to the west by Cluny Road and to the north by Bukit Timah Road. There are several entrances at various areas of the gardens, but the main one is the Tanglin Gate, which faces Holland Road in the south. The big attraction of the Botanic Gardens is the National Orchid Garden. The 3-hectare mountainous region, which is situated on the garden's western side, is home to a collection of more than 1,000 species and 2,000 hybrid orchids. Burkill Hall was constructed in 1886 as a colonial plantation bungalow. It was formerly the director's residence and was given that name in honor of the only father and son team to lead the Singapore Botanic Gardens, Isaac and Humphrey Burkill. Information on the several hybrids, each named after a VIP who has visited the garden, is shown in an exhibition area on the ground level. The Orchidarium, which houses wild species in a tropical environment, is a paradise for dedicated orchid fans. The Tan Hoon Shang Misthouse is home to a vibrant assortment of various hybrids. Additionally, it boasts a modest assortment of fragrant orchids, including Vanda Mimi Palmer. Plants from the Bromeliaceae family, which also includes the pineapple, are on display at the Bromeliad House. The unusual bromeliad collection on exhibit was purchased in 1994 from Shell Dance Nursery in the United States. The Cool House exhibits orchids that are typically only found in tropical highland regions while attempting to replicate the conditions of a tropical highland forest. The Singapore Botanic Gardens contain a small tropical rainforest that is older than the gardens itself. It is about 6 hectares in size. Within Singapore's city borders lie the rainforest and its larger cousin, the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. The Tijuca Forest in Rio de Janeiro and Singapore are the only 2 large cities that have tropical rainforests inside their city borders. The National Orchid Garden's neighbor, the Ginger Garden, has species from the Zingiberaceae family. A restaurant called the Halia Restaurant is situated in the garden. Along Tyersall Avenue, there is a waterfall and a drop-off location. The garden replaced the former orchid enclosure when it was formally inaugurated in 2003. The Botany Center refers to the 2 new office and classroom buildings in the renovated Tanglin Core neighborhood. They have classrooms for outreach education programs as well as the Library of Botany and Horticulture. The Singapore Herbarium, orchid breeding, and micropropagation. The Botany Center's pathways and corridors are covered in leaf imprints. Along with fern-covered vertical walls, the grounds also have a number of wooden carvings. The Green Pavilion is Singapore's first green roof. The sloping roof is completely covered in weed and grass-like vegetation. Former directors' offices, Holtham Hall and Ridley Hall, were maintained and are now known as the Heritage Museum and Ridley Hall. The Children's Garden is dedicated in honor of Jacob Ballas, a prominent contributor and Jewish Singaporean philanthropist who passed away in 2004. It is situated at the Botanic Gardens' more tranquil northern end and cost $7 million to construct. It started on October 1, 2007, Children's Day. According to the National Parks Board, it is the first children's garden in Asia. The Children's Garden is a distinct enclosure that has its own entrance along Bukit Timah Road even though it is regarded as a part of the Botanic Gardens. Tropical plants line the bank of the Soraka stream as it meanders its way down a small hill. The main highlights of the stream walk are the yellow Soraka trees and red Soraka. Other attractions include the Palm Valley, Bandstand Area, Sun Garden and Sundial Garden. The Botanic Gardens has 3 lakes, namely Symphony Lake, Eco Lake and Swan Lake. The headquarters of the National Parks Board is located within the grounds of the Singapore Botanic Gardens. Singapore's national agency in biodiversity-related issues, the National Biodiversity Centre, is also located within the grounds of the gardens. In January 2014, Singapore Botanic Gardens submitted a formal request to UNESCO for consideration as a World Heritage Site. The World Heritage Committee's 39th session in Bonn debated Singapore's submission on July 4 of that year, and all 21 members approved it. The Singapore Botanic Gardens are the only tropical and first botanical garden to be listed on the UNESCO World Heritage List.